All right, so today we're going to learn the basics of 360 videography. So first off, we got a 360 camera here, the RS something or other, and this is a 1X. They're both from Insta 360. This is the old one, you know, pre-touch screen. There's a fancy little touch screen here. So the main difference between these is this guy has a little removable battery. So that's super handy because you can charge it when you're not using it. And if you have a couple batteries, you know, when you're out in the field and this thing's dying, you can just swap them out. In the newer ones, the little SD card goes in next to the battery. In the older one, it's this. And also, I mean, you know, you don't have to use Insta 360 brand. We just always have. In general, your battery is either going to be part of the camera, like this one. In order to charge this, we plug in, there's a standard little USB-C port. Once you run out of power in the field, that's a bad spot to be. So, you know, your standard power bank, USB to USB-C, and I'll just hook that up and, you know, jury rig it somewhere nearby so that I'm drawing on this thing's power before I draw on this thing's power. Both of them are usually good for about 2 hours. That's all you really need, right? Is a 360 camera with some power and a little micro SD card in it. This is where your videos are saved. On this one, it is you got and then you can pull out this, and there it is. So main thing is, what's the best way to film 360 content? General rule is you don't really want your 360 camera to move in your shots. We're capturing everything, so it all exists. So this is really the equivalent of like picking up your audience and carrying them around. In general, the way to not nauseate your audience is to have it nice and far, because your audience is going to be far away from the things that are moving. Two things that, you know, are the exception to the rule of don't move the camera is if it's far enough away that, you know, the movement feels slow. It's not stuff like moving super fast past it. Like, we'll attach this thing to a drone and fly it around, and that's fine because you're far away from the environment. The other thing is context. So we'll take like this little thing, suction cup it like inside the cockpit of a big machine. Then it's less nauseating, even though there's a bunch of movement and you're doing stuff. Your brain's like, oh, I'm in the cockpit. It makes sense that the world would be moving and I would. So in general, what you want, tripod. Stable shot to stable shot. Nice little crossfade between the two. No matter what position the camera's in, it's gonna correct itself. Up is up, which is helpful. So in a situation where we're like, what's in the hole, what's in the sewer, what's down in a pipe, you know, we'll break this thing connected to something else and have the lens pointed straight down. You're still upright, but you're looking down, you're seeing into the hole instead of squished, weird, messed up version of a little bit of this tripod. In general, I have the bottom of the camera pointed somewhere you know you don't want folks to look. When we're filming with the drone, you know, we'll attach it upside down, so the warped part is the drone. The other thing is the sides of your lenses is where you're most likely going to get some distortion. They're pretty good, but if there is going to be an issue, it's going to be there. Point the lens at the target that you want to capture. My sides are pointed at stable areas where I know I'm not going to have a problem. You know, at this point, we can just turn this bad boy on. You see this little video symbol, right? We're in video mode. We can just slide. Mainly, what we're going to use this for is video. So just take a little peek down there and make sure that you're in video. On the top left, we can see how much time we've got left on this SD card. And then, yeah, when we're ready, we hit the little red button and we're recording. Boom, we're recording. Because the red light's on over on this side, the red light's flashing there, we got the numbers moving, right? We're recording. So here's the main thing about 360. There is no behind the camera. There's nowhere to hide. I mean, you could, if you're small enough, kind of hide here. You're gonna see me. So, be in the scene, you know, be a background actor, character, you know, doing something appropriate. Or hide. When you advanced video editor types, you can always just pick a spot where you don't have a lot of activity and then just make sure you've got a shot of that space when it's empty. We can digitally cover ourselves up. Super simple. All right. It can be handy, instead of having to try to figure out everything on this little screen. If you have an iPad or a phone, Insta360 comes with a little app. Actually, if you turned your camera on for the first time, you had to get this app to activate it. So basically all of these cameras have their own little Wi-Fi signal. We just connect to that. Yes, Joanne. Oh, finally. Okay, so preview is compressed, meaning it doesn't look this bad in the camera. It looks bad on the preview. But again, we can look around and see all the things that it can see. And again, if we look down, we'll see, oh, that's where it's a little bit funky. Settings down here between photo and whatnot. Got some manual settings. ISO is kind of how dark your scene is. A bigger number is for lower light. White balance. You change it and you'll see the color change. Whatever it looks like it looks to your eyes is good. And when you hit record, it starts recording. The Wi-Fi signal in general doesn't tend to like brick. So if I walk away and go to another room to hide, I might lose signal and not see my preview, but it will keep recording. So I'm saying, when you're hitting record and you go away to hide in your place and the thing stops seeing the preview, it's okay, you're still recording. Don't worry about it. I really think that's about it for the recording process.